Dear students, today we will see the concept of deadlocks. What is deadlock? Deadlock is nothing but a n number of processes are requesting for the same resource at the same time. So I repeat, n number of processes in a system requesting for same resource at the same time, which is not possible for resources to serve all processes at a one time. Okay, let us understand this with this particular traffic jam problem. So in this case, traffic is in only one direction, that is in this direction or other direction, whatever it is. So what will happen is, if the traffic is in one direction, there are chances that a deadlock may occur, because say for example, if traffic is in this direction and this car gets stuck, or this car somehow has stopped, then what will happen is the cars next to it will be stopped because of this car, and there is no question of these cars being moved. So everyone is deadlocked, so they can't move ahead due to this car or whatever it is. So here what we can see in this example is, each section of a bridge can be viewed as a resource. Each section of bridge can be viewed as a resource. Now moving to next one, if deadlock occurs, as I said, a car may met with an accident or car has stopped because of a defects in engine, whatever it is. If deadlock occurs, the chance next what to do is, it can be resolved if one car backs up. One car, say for example, if one car which is next to it, or this car which is next to it, if any one of the car will take a back step and allow other cars to take a diversion and go ahead, then deadlock may be handled there. That's what we call it in processes, preempt the resources and roll back. This condition wherein a particular car has been backed up and it is allowed for free the traffic. So it is called as preempt resources and roll back. And there are chances that several cars may also have to back up if a deadlock occurs sometimes. Say for example, if there is an accident, then this whole area might be blocked, then everyone has to go back and go with some other road, so that deadlock can be handled. So sometimes what will happen, there is a chance of starvation. Starvation means these cars will wait and keep on waiting for a very long time, because we haven't handled our deadlock, because we have not moved any car back, or any measures to address the deadlocks we have not done it. Because of that, starvation happens. Starvation in operating system specifically called as a process will never get a resource for which it is requesting. I repeat, starvation is nothing but a process which will not get a resource for which it is waiting for the longer period of time. So deadlock will cause this particular problem, which is called as starvation. Okay, so to avoid these things, what we can do is, we have to address the deadlocks and make sure our system works in a better and efficient way. So let us understand how exactly each process works in an operating system or a system. Each process, because there are resources which has to be utilized by many processes. Okay, so what we have to do, a process has to request for a resource. Once request has been fulfilled, that means resource has been given to a particular process, it should use it for the time for which it has been designed, or till the completion of work. Once its usage finishes, the process has to release the resource, so that particular resource can be assigned to the other processes which are waiting in the system. I repeat, first a process has to request for a resource, then it has been granted, then it has to be used by the process for the completion of it works. Then once it works is complete, process has to release the particular resource, so that resource can be utilized by the or used by the other processes in a system for which they are waiting. I hope it is clear why request, use and how request, use and release works. So why deadlock occurs usually? That is called as deadlock characterization, or you can say conditions of deadlocks. One is due to mutual exclusion. I repeat, due to mutual exclusion. What is mutual exclusion? Always in a system we have shareable resources, a resource which can be shared by all the processes. Okay, so at a time, if one process will be using a particular resource, will not be granted that authority to the other process. Otherwise what will happen is there is a what you call as misusage, or what you call as not so what you call as so due to misusage of a particular resource, what will happen is whole the system gets stuck. So there are chances that due to mutual exclusion, deadlock may occur, may or may not. Okay, because a particular resource which is needed by two processes, if a process 1 is using it, then process 2 has to wait until it completes. Okay, so later on it gets it. Sometimes there is a deadlock. Okay, then next is hold and wait. Let us see with this. So there is a process 1, resource 1, and process 2 is using resource 2. Now process 1 requires both, what is that, resource 1 as well as resource 2, but at present process 1 is using resource 1 and process 2 is using resource 2. Now process 1 will hold this resource 1, because until it gets R2 also, that is resource 2 also, it can't complete. So it holds and waits for P2 to complete the work with the R2, so that R2 is available for process 1. I repeat, process 1 currently using resource 1 and it also requires resource 2. So which is with that resource 2 is with P2. So P1 holds resource 1 and waits for resource 2, and later once R2 is released, R2 will be assigned to P1, then R2 plus R1 plus R2 will be the process 1 which completes its work. I hope it is clear. Now no preemption. What is no preemption? Here we can see process 1 is using resource 1, 2, 3. Now resource 1 will be completely used by the P1, and it is presently P1 is using resource 2 for its work, but it will not release the resource 1 until it completes R1, R2, R3. That means it completes its works, to be frank. Okay, so R1 is free, it would have been given to other process, but due to no preemption, what will happen is R1 will not be available for the other processes in a system. So P1 will release R1, R2, R3 at a time after its completion of the work. I hope it is clear. No preemption means R1 will not be given to other process until whole P1's work is, process 1's work is completed. The next one is circular wait. Here we can see P1 requires or waiting for input from P2. P2 is waiting for input from P3, and P3 is waiting for input from P1. This is a circular. What means P1 is waiting for P2 to complete, P2 is waiting for P3 to complete, and P3 is waiting for P1 to complete. There is no question that P1 will complete because P3 is waiting for it. P2 will complete because it is depending on P3, and P1 is depending on P2, and so on and so forth. What will happen is no work will be done. This condition is called as circular wait. Okay, and the fourth one, that is circular wait, there is 100% deadlock. That means deadlock is guaranteed if this is the case. That is, P1 is waiting for P2, P2 is waiting for P3, and P3 is waiting for P1. And other three conditions, they are called as indirect causes of deadlock. That means they may or they may not cause the deadlock. Clear? Fourth one is direct and other three are non-direct. So here there may be a deadlock or there may not be a deadlock due to the condition. Here definitely there will be a deadlock. Okay, how to know that there is a deadlock or there is no deadlock? So this is understood by a graph called as resource allocation graph. The The different symbols used in a resource allocation graph is these square boxes are called as resources, these circular boxes are processes, and these dots in boxes or rectangular boxes, square boxes are called as instances or number of resources. For example, R1 has one instance, that is one resource, and R4 has three resources, which that means it can handle three processes at a time, and R2 has two processes. I hope you understood. Okay, now let us understand in which of these two graphs there is a deadlock. Here we can see in first case what is happening, and arrows. So from P1 to R1 means it is called as request, and R1 to P2 means it is a assignment edge. This is request edge and this is assignment edge. That means process is requesting for a resource, and a resource has given allocated a resource to the particular process. Okay, here we can see P1 has requested resource R1. R1 is with P2. P2 has requested R3, and R3 is with P3. P3 has requested resource from R2, and R2, one of the resources has been allocated to P2, and R2, one of the resources allocated to P1. So there is definitely here there will be a deadlock, because everyone is waiting for, say P1 is waiting for something, P2 is waiting for something, P3 is waiting for something. There is no question of this cycle complete, so there will be a deadlock. Let us see a resource allocation graph wherein there are no deadlocks, no possibility of deadlocks. So here we can see P1 has requested from R1, and R1 resource 1 has been allocated to process 2, resource 1 also allocated to process 3, and process 3 has requested something. Here you can see resource 2 has allocated to P4. When it completes, this addresses this particular thing, and here anyway R2 is free now. This thing is given to process 1, and this freed P4, that means once P4 completes, this resource is allocated to P3. That means all are satisfied. That means there is no deadlock. Process will continue. Hope you understood the difference between a graph with a deadlock and graph without deadlock. So in resource allocation graph, if there is no cycle, no deadlocks. Remember, I repeat, if there is no cycles in resource allocation graph, then there is no deadlock. If there is a cycle, there are chances that there may be a deadlock, there may not be a deadlock. So deadlock means everyone is waiting here. Here you can see all processes have been allocated resources at a particular time. Hope things are clear. Thank you very much for watching.